There are places where people did not choose comfort. They chose to stay. You won't find them easily on maps. Some cling to cliffs. Some disappear into stone. Some rise upward, where land ran out long ago. To an outsider, they look impossible. To the people who live there, they are simply home. I began this journey trying to understand why humans remain in places the land never offered willingly. But with every step, the answer became quieter and deeper. In towns built into canyon walls, houses lean into rock for support. Along steep coastlines, entire communities stack themselves toward the light. In mountain villages, paths climb where roads never could. And beneath the surface, whole cities retreat underground, shaped by necessity rather than design. From cliffside settlements in Europe and the Middle East, to stone villages in Asia, to dense urban enclaves rising without space to breathe, life continues in forms shaped directly by the land itself. These are not ruins. They are not relics. They are places where people adapted instead of leaving, where architecture followed terrain, where survival became routine. Walk with me through cliffs, caves, and vertical neighborhoods, and you'll see that these settlements were never built to impress. They were built to endure. Civita di Bagnoregio. A village clings to the crest of a crumbling tufa hill, defiantly nicknamed the Dying City for its gradual surrender to time and erosion. Bathed in autumn gold above the rolling fields of Lazio, Italy, Civita emerges like an apparition, its stone arches and quiet alleys suspended above the mist-laden valley, accessible only by a slender footbridge that stretches more than 380 feet, or about 115 meters, across the ravine. Founded over 2,000 years ago by the Etruscans, the town's dramatic fate began with constant landslides, carving away street after street, and an earthquake in the 17th century that sent many fleeing forever. Today, there is a hush to the place, an unsettled beauty that fills its windswept courtyards, and thick silence after sunset, where life persists in defiance of impermanence. There is both sorrow and resilience here, the weight of loss and the vibrance of a few remaining souls tending to homes and traditions where most have vanished. In every crumbling facade and echoing step, Civita asks us how places endure, and why some dreams, even as they fade, are fiercely held in memory and stone. Positano, at its heart, Positano is a testament to resilient beauty, where a village clings to the impossible slopes of the Amalfi Coast and turns challenge into art. Sunlight spills over pastel houses stacked above the sparkling Tyrrhenian Sea, while narrow alleys wind down into the pulse of Campania, Italy, scented with lemon trees and the salt of the waves. Once a humble fishing settlement, Positano flourished as a port in medieval centuries before fading into obscurity, only to be revived in the 20th century when artists and writers discovered its allure, and today its radiant facades have become icons of Mediterranean escape. There is a sensation here of time stretching, of old laughter echoing in stairways, of longing to belong yet always wanting to drift further. Between the shimmering abundance of summer and the quiet solitude of winter, Positano reveals a gentle contradiction, a world between retreat and celebration, between stillness and adventure. Perhaps in every sunlit curve of its coast, we find a reminder of how places, like lives, are shaped by both struggle and hope that reaches far beyond the horizon. Manarola, a pastel-colored village clinging to the edge of the Ligurian cliffs, Manarola embodies the enduring bond between people and the sea. Terraced vineyards stretch above narrow lanes, while the gentle surf of the Mediterranean brushes against ancient stone walls in northern Italy. First settled in the 14th century, this harbour town developed around fishing and winemaking, its tiny harbour welcoming boats after days spent in waters that seem endless beneath the sky. Standing here, you can feel a sense of resilience in the vibrant homes weathered by both ocean storms and generations of quiet celebration. Yet behind every sunlit facade, there's a delicate balance between enduring tradition and the ever-growing pull of tourism. Places like Manarola remind us how easily beauty and heritage entwine, inviting visitors to pause and wonder at the stories shaped by coastlines across the world. Fira. At the heart of Santorini, Fira is a place where whitewashed houses spill down volcanic cliffs, capturing the island's enduring spirit of renewal. The sunlit alleys of the town wind above the dazzling blue sweep of the Aegean Sea, while the scent of salt and wild thyme drifts through the air, blending with the distant laughter from cafes perched on the edge of the caldera in Greece. Fira's gleaming terraces rise more than 800 feet, or about 240 meters above sea level, the legacy of a Bronze Age eruption that carved this crescent coastline and forever reshaped the story of life here. Walking these paths, there is a quiet sense of resilience, a community shaped by ancient upheaval but forever drawn to the beauty that emerges from it. Here, the timeless calm of white walls contrasts with long-ago moments of fire and ash, reminding us that serenity is often born out of transformation. In places like Fira, we are invited to consider how history and beauty, fragility and strength mingle in the landscapes that shape human memory. Oia. Perched at the caldera's edge, Oia offers a window into the enduring harmony between humanity and Earth. Sunlit domes and whitewashed homes spill down the rugged cliffs of Santorini, Greece, each building echoing centuries of resilience against the deep blue Aegean Sea. In the early 19th century, Oia's sailors brought prosperity by trading across Mediterranean ports, rebuilding after a devastating earthquake in the 1950s that reshaped its skyline and slowly transformed a humble fishing village into an emblem of Grecian grace. There's a gentle hush as evening falls, when golden light brushes the terraced rooftops and strangers pause to marvel together in shared silence. Here, intensity meets tranquility, where sharp volcanic stones cradle delicate human dreams. The timeless flow of light and history suggests that some places are not meant to be hurried, only thoughtfully received. Yuanyang Terraces, a living testament to harmony between people and landscape. This place offers centuries of quiet persistence, etched into the earth itself. Spilling down the green mountainsides of Yunnan province in southwestern China, thousands of shimmering rice paddies curve and step like mirrors, each one reflecting morning mist, colored skies, and the distant voices of the Hani people who have called these slopes home for generations. Carved by hand over more than 1,300 years, the terraces stretch from river valley to cloud-touched ridge, with some fields perched nearly 6,600 feet above sea level, or roughly 2,000 meters, showing a remarkable ingenuity passed along family lines. There's awe in their quiet grandeur, a sense of humble pride woven into every reflection, as if the patience of the past lives on with every dawn. Here, the ceaseless flow of work and water stands in gentle contrast with timeless stillness, balancing human endeavor and nature's slow rhythms. And as sunlight slips across each step, you might wonder how landscapes shaped by devotion quietly shape us in return. Masuli. Here in this mountain village, the past lingers in the quiet rhythm of daily life. Tucked deep within the lush, mist-draped hills of Gilan province, Iran, Masule's clay brick homes seem to sprout from the steep green slopes, their earthen rooftops serving as pathways for the next tier above, each level both living space and shared street. Founded more than a millennium ago, Masule developed its unique terraced design out of both necessity and ingenuity, embracing the rugged landscape and creating a village where no car has ever entered. Human footsteps echoing instead along corridors made of stone and sky. There is a gentleness in the filtered afternoon light and the scent of wood smoke, a sense that time here moves at a different pace, inviting reflection. In Masule, the old and new brush quietly against each other, the sound of distant laughter mingling with the hush of ancient market stalls, tradition etched beside renewal. In places like this, perched more than 3,000 feet, or about 900 meters, above the sea, we catch a glimpse of how communities thrive, not by conquering nature, but by harmonizing with it. A lesson still rippling outward into the wider world. Abyane, a living memory of endurance and cultural pride, Abyane nestles quietly on the slopes of central Iran's Caucasus Mountains. Its ancient earthen homes, glazed in the sunburnt red of Isfahan province's native soil, line narrow lanes where gentle breezes tug at the flaps of patterned window screens, and villagers, wrapped in vibrant traditional garments, linger in the cool shadows. With roots stretching back more than 1.5 millennia, this village has preserved its distinct dialect and Zoroastrian customs through centuries of sweeping change, surviving both empire and invasion. Walking here, there's a rare sense of stillness, a feeling that time itself settles softly across the ochre clay walls and fragrant apricot orchards. Life flows slowly in Abiyane, balancing solitude and stubborn resilience, where every weathered doorway whispers of both isolation and enduring community. In these hills, tradition flourishes quietly, hinting that stories can outlast even the tallest mountain's shadow. Kandavan. In this ancient rock village, the meaning of home is carved directly from the earth itself. Sunlight washes over honey-colored cliffs in East Azerbaijan province, Iran, where homes emerge as curious doorways and windows, blending seamlessly with the chiseled volcanic landscape. For more than 7 centuries, families have shaped these caves, some rising up to 50 feet or around 15 meters above the valley floor, transforming volcanic ash deposits into living spaces that stay cool in the summer heat and warm through bitter winters. Life here is steeped in resilience, a quiet testament to both tradition and adaptation, as laughter and daily chores echo softly in stone-walled rooms. Above ground and below, there is a dual world, ancient hospitality alongside the hush of isolation, where change treads gently on pathways worn by countless generations. Kandavan's enduring embrace speaks to humanity's universal search for shelter and the many shapes it can take throughout time. Meteora, rising like a vision out of ancient stone. Meteora is an enduring testament to faith, balanced high above the plains of central Greece. Massive pillars of weathered sandstone stretch more than 1,300 feet into the sky, or nearly 400 meters, towering above the Thessaly region, with monasteries perched impossibly on their crowns. Monks first settled these vertiginous cliffs in the 14th century, carving out sacred refuges to escape turmoil during the waning days of Byzantium. To walk among these cloud-bound sanctuaries is to feel awe not only for their spiritual resolve, but for the quiet patience that built them stone by stone. Solitude and sanctuary coexist here, where harsh rock and gentle prayers have shaped the same windswept heights. Meteora invites us to ponder what humanity reaches for: shelter, meaning, connection, or perhaps simply a view closer to the sky. Eit Ben Haddou, an ancient sentinel of earthen towers, Eit Ben Haddou stands as a living testament to resilience along the old caravan routes that once connected the Sahara with the bustling markets of Ouarzazate in Morocco. Sun-baked Kasbah walls glow deep amber at sunset, their contours casting intricate shadows over winding lanes, while the slow river below drinks in the ochre of the desert. Built from mud, brick, and timber, this fortified village dates back to at least the 17th century, sheltering generations of traders and travelers within walls that rise more than 50 feet, or about 15 meters, above the valley floor. Walking beneath its arched gates, one feels the quiet strength of those who endured both the harshness of the desert and the uncertainties that swept across Morocco's southern frontier. For all its protective solidity, Ait Ben Haddou's delicate clay facades remind us how communities must adapt or crumble amid time's passage. In this place where the physical and the ephemeral meet, travelers are invited to ponder what endures after the caravans have faded, echoing questions asked by people everywhere. Baishizhou Urban Village, in the heart of Shenzhen, Baishizhou stands as a living testament to adaptability and resourcefulness in a city racing toward the future. Dense clusters of pastel-washed apartment blocks spill below the glass giants of Guangdong Province, forming a patchwork of narrow alleyways brimming with the aroma of street food and the echo of countless voices. Originally rural farmland, Baishizhou transformed in the late 20th century as migrant workers arrived. Its labyrinthine grid became home to more than 140,000 people within just under 1 square mile, or about 2.5 square kilometers. There is a certain energy here, at once chaotic and comforting, where livelihoods are stitched from resilience and the sense of belonging runs deep, despite fleeting tenure. Amid the looming skyline and accelerating development, the village's low-rise homes appear humble and impermanent, yet they shelter memories as enduring as any monument. In places like Baishijo, we are reminded that every thriving metropolis carries these islands of everyday humanity, quietly shaping the story of modern life. Dharavi, a living mosaic of human resilience, Dharavi embodies both the challenges and spirit of adaptation in the heart of India's Maharashtra state. Morning sunlight glimmers on a sea of corrugated rooftops, while winding alleyways pulse with the sounds of industry and community, all nestled within Mumbai's sprawling contours. Emerging in the late 1800s as a settlement beside tidal flats, Dharavi grew over decades into one of the world's most densely populated neighborhoods, sheltering nearly 1 million people within just over 500 acres, or around 200 hectares. Here, a quiet pride persists, families transforming narrow spaces into workshops, kitchens, and homes, each corner humming with hidden dreams. Yet, the hardship of cramped quarters stands in striking contrast to the economic vibrancy, as countless small industries thrive amidst adversity. In Dharavi, the meaning of community is constantly rewritten, inviting questions about possibility and hope in cities everywhere. Setenil de las Bodegas. Here, the meaning of shelter evolves, blending ancient resilience with the gentle rhythm of daily life. Whitewashed houses of Setenil, deep in the heart of Andalusia, Spain, nestle seamlessly beneath mighty stone cliffs, their rooftops shaded by raw rock overhangs that seem to hover protectively above winding streets. First settled by the Romans and later shaped by the Moors, the town became a fortress in medieval times, its homes carved directly into limestone after a siege that famously lasted more than 15 days and nights. Wandering through these cool, shadowed lanes offers a quiet connection to those who found refuge here centuries ago, their stories lingering in the air like faint echoes. Light and shadow coexist, as living rooms melt into caves and midday sun fades into rocky darkness just steps away. In Setenil, human adaptation and landscape are entwined, quietly reminding us how communities across the world find solace and identity in the most unexpected places. Jagana Stone Village. Carved into the ancient silence of the Tibetan highlands, this village is where nature and human endurance are woven into a timeless tapestry. Morning mist curls along rugged limestone peaks as sunlight gently reveals the clustered stone houses perched more than 10,000 feet above sea level, or about 3,000 meters, in Gansu Province, China. For centuries, the Tibetan people here have shaped their homes from the land itself, drawing on mountain stone and tradition to create a community resilient to both fierce winters and the slow passing of generations. To walk these winding paths is to feel the quiet strength of a place where the hum of prayer wheels and the calls of yak herders linger in the thin, sweet air. Harsh and hospitable, Jagana reveals the duality of remoteness, a world both protective and isolating, offering stillness yet demanding courage. In places like this, far from crowds yet rich in connection, the human story is sculpted in stone and sky, quietly echoing far beyond the mountains. Kowloon Walled City, there once stood a living labyrinth at the heart of Hong Kong, where thousands of lives wove together in a dense mosaic of light, shadow, and perpetual motion. Through narrow corridors, barely wide enough for two, the humid air pulsed with the scent of frying noodles and the flicker of neon, all pressed by walls rising more than 100 feet, or about 30 meters, into the cloudy South China sky. Originally a military fort, this enclave evolved after the Second World War into a lawless urban enclave, sheltering over 30,000 residents in an area no larger than 6.5 acres, or about 2.5 hectares. A city within a city where official boundaries blurred and communities created their own order. Walking here, it was easy to feel both the claustrophobia and the surprising warmth, a chaos built not from malice, but from the persistent ingenuity of people seeking home. Where outside control failed, inside, unexpected cooperation flourished. A place both feared and cherished, its disappearance in the early 1990s left not just cleared ground, but a lingering fascination with how humans shape and are shaped by their urban environments. The memory of this vanished city lingers, a quiet question about the balance between order and freedom that echoes far beyond Hong Kong's borders. Shippy Urban Village, a living mosaic of migration and resilience, Shipai stands as one of the largest urban villages in China, quietly embodying the restless heartbeat of modern Shenzhen. Narrow lanes twist through a patchwork of makeshift towers, their balconies hung with laundry above the constant bustle of street vendors and neon-lit shops, all layered within Guangdong Province's fast-changing metropolis. Once a rural farming community, Shipai was transformed in the late 20th century as waves of newcomers arrived seeking work, and its land was absorbed by the city's dramatic growth. Now sheltering tens of thousands in just over 1/3 of a square mile, or about 1 square kilometer. Amid concrete and energy, echoes of old village rituals linger. A quiet meal, a handwritten notice, a grandmother's watchful gaze, bridging past and present within walls built to endure. Here, sharp contrasts unfold. Local Cantonese traditions weaving into currents of migration, temporary dreams nestled among permanent uncertainty. And as Shipai's rooftops look out onto Shenzhen's glass towers, the pulse of the village quietly questions how cities remember the people and stories that uplift their future. Rocinha, at the heart of human ingenuity and resilience, Rocinha stands as both a community and a symbol in the sweeping landscape of Brazil. Tucked along the steep hillsides of Rio de Janeiro, its maze of colorful homes, narrow passageways, and vibrant street murals paint an ever-shifting mosaic in the morning light, with the faraway hum of the city always present, yet somehow distant. Emerging in the early 20th century, Rocinha grew from a handful of hillside shacks into Brazil's largest favela, expanding across more than 300 acres, or roughly 120 hectares, and home to tens of thousands who have shaped its fabric through decades marked by migration, struggle, and neighborhood solidarity. Here, adversity weaves tightly with hope, as locals create their own systems of art and economy, revealing lives lived fully even within uncertainty. The stark divide between Rocinha's energy and the wealth of nearby neighborhoods sharpens the sense of both limitation and possibility. To see Rocinha is to witness the complex rhythm of a city's pulse, beating strongest where hardship meets imagination. Monster Building, a silent colossus of human ambition, this iconic apartment complex stands as a living mosaic of urban resilience and daily ritual. Rows upon rows of stacked balconies, laundry fluttering in the humid breeze, crowd the sky above Quarry Bay in Hong Kong, China, casting a kaleidoscope of shadows and color onto the narrow courtyards below. Completed in the early 1960s, the interconnected towers were once built to house more than 10,000 people, their walls rising nearly 60 stories or about 18 meters as part of a rapid push to shelter a city bursting with life. Among the concrete edges and echoing corridors, an unmistakable sense of collective endurance persists, each window a fragment of countless personal histories shaped by hope and adaptation. Here, privacy and togetherness blur, the confining density, both shelters and challenges, holding promise and limitation in a single breath. In these stacked lives, we see the paradox of city living, how people find space and meaning even within walls that seem impossibly close, reminding us that stories are not just built, but woven in the heart of every great city. Manila Vertical Barangay. Rising above the restless streets, this upward village captures a new meaning of community in the heart of Metro Manila. Glass towers shimmer in the tropical sun, their reflections mingling with glimpses of laundry lines, rooftop gardens, and the distant sprawl of the Philippine capital, where the energy of city life pulses beneath every balcony. Developed in response to Manila's relentless urban growth, these residential high-rises began as an answer to limited land, sculpting neighborhoods that stretch hundreds of feet, or around 60 meters, into the sky. Living here is both a promise and a puzzle, surrounded by neighbors, yet suspended far from the familiar rhythm of street-level life. There is comfort in density and a loneliness in altitude, a place shaped by both connection and separation. Within these vertical villages, the human story continues to adapt, echoing the changing cities of our world. Guadix Cave Dwellings. In the heart of human adaptation, the underground homes of Guadix serve as a quiet testament to endurance and ingenuity. Nestled at the edge of the small town of Guadix in southern Spain's Andalusia, white chimneys and curved doorways peak like sentinels from ochre hillsides, their cool interiors offering shelter from the punishing sun above. For centuries, beginning with the Moors in the Middle Ages, generations carved more than 2,000 homes into soft clay earth, creating a labyrinth beneath the surface where daily life flourishes in silence. Wandering these hushed passages, a sense of resilience lingers, each echo a reminder of people shaping comfort from stone and shadow. Here, darkness and light are never strictly divided. The subterranean calm softens daily bustle, and ancient customs blend with modern existence. In places like these, we glimpse how tradition endures, quietly shaping the rhythms of communities and our shared understanding of what it means to call somewhere home. Maymand Cave Village, carved into the heart of rugged cliffs, Maymand stands as a living chronicle of human endurance and ancient ingenuity. In the arid hills of Kerman Province, Iran, the honeycomb of stone dwellings glows in the late sun, their cool shadows stretching across rocky terraces where wild thyme and almond blossoms scent the dry air. Archaeological traces here reach back more than 12,000 years, and generations have shaped these hand-hewn caves to shelter families, livestock, and tradition from the elements and invading empires alike. Walking softly through the silent passageways, one feels the humble resilience of a people who made home where others saw only stone. Here, timeless hardship looks both simple and profound, the raw isolation of highland survival balanced by the quiet grace of community life. Cappadocia Cave Settlements, a landscape shaped by both nature and humankind, these cave dwellings stand as silent witnesses to ingenuity and endurance. In the heart of Turkey's Nevşehir province, soft ochre hills roll beneath an endless cobalt sky, dotted by surreal stone spires and honeycombed cliffs, where doors and windows are carved deep into volcanic rock. Over thousands of years, locals chiseled shelters, churches, and entire subterranean cities into the tuff, creating a network that once sheltered communities from invasions and harsh Anatolian weather, with some underground passages reaching more than 200 feet, or about 60 meters, below the earth. Walking through dimly lit corridors brings a quiet awe, connecting visitors with centuries of hopes, fears, and daily rituals etched into stone. Above ground, the vivid early morning light contrasts with the cool shadows below, a reminder of the enduring balance between exposure and refuge. Derinkuyu underground city, beneath the sunlit plains of central Turkey, lies a hidden labyrinth, a testament to human adaptability and the age-old quest for refuge. Carved into the soft volcanic rock of Nevşehir province, this subterranean marvel unfolds in a hush of cool, dim corridors that once sheltered entire communities, kitchens, stables, living quarters, and chapels nested beneath the modern town. Originating as early as the 8th century, before the Common Era, the city expanded over centuries, ultimately stretching to a depth of nearly 200 feet, or about 60 meters, and accommodating as many as 20,000 people during times of invasion. To walk these ancient passageways is to feel both the ingenuity and the anxiety of generations etched into stone, each chamber holding echoes of hurried footsteps and whispered prayers. Kuba Pedi, beneath the scorched red earth, this underground town is a testament to adaptation and human ingenuity. Glimpses of chimneys, vents, and low entrances peek from the sun-baked ground near the heart of South Australia, while cool, winding corridors lead to subterranean homes, churches, and shops illuminated by soft, filtered light. Since its founding in 1915, fortune seekers from around the world have come here to mine opal, carving out shelters below the surface to escape temperatures that can soar well above 100 degrees or around 40 degrees Celsius. Walking these hushed tunnels, you feel both the weight of isolation and the warmth of a determined community, sculpted by the extremes that define life here. Above and below, a silent partnership exists between the relentless, sun-drenched desert and the cool, resilient world shaped by those who call it home. Vardzia, hewn into the wild cliffs of southern Georgia, this ancient cave monastery stands as a testament to the power of faith carved from stone. Sheltered by the rugged valley walls of the Samtskhe Java Keti region, a honeycomb of more than 600 rooms stretches over 13 stories, their entrances illuminated by strips of late afternoon light slanting across soft rock and distant mountains. Built during the 12th century under Queen Tamar's reign, Vardzia became both a sanctuary and stronghold, its winding tunnels protecting monks and villagers from invading armies and fostering a spiritual oasis for centuries. Standing in the quiet chapels, one feels the profound solitude and resilience borne by generations who found sanctuary within these walls, connecting to something enduring yet fragile. Here, harsh rock and gentle devotion coexist, echoing the dual nature of shelter and exposure, closeness and isolation. Even as the outside world shifts, the stillness of Vadzia lingers, reminding us how human hope leaves its trace in the most unlikely places. Uplistike Rock City, an ancient city hewn from living stone. Uplistike reveals a world shaped by both ambition and endurance. Sunlight spills across honey-colored caves and winding corridors that overlook the sweeping plains of the Shida Kotli region in eastern Georgia, casting long shadows where distant mountain winds carry memories of centuries past. Developed over 2.5 millennia ago, its earliest chambers date back to the early Iron Age, evolving over time into a maze of homes, temples, and streets that once sheltered thriving communities through times of flourishing and siege. Walking the weathered passageways, you can almost hear the echo of voices, ancient traders, wandering monks, resilient mothers, each leaving a quiet trace upon the city's volcanic cliffs. Here, the raw permanence of stone stands in gentle contrast with the ephemeral nature of those who called it home, as present and past seem to brush silently against each other. As the winds shift above the ruins, Uplistike reminds us that even the most enduring civilizations are but fleeting chapters in the enduring story of the earth. Petra, an ancient city carved from rose-red cliffs, Petra stands as a testament to both the ambition and ingenuity of the Nabateans. Stepping into its labyrinthine Sikh in Ma'an Governorate, Jordan, visitors are bathed in shifting shadows, where narrow passageways open suddenly onto the grandeur of Al-Khazneh, its facade soaring over 130 feet, or nearly 40 meters, high against the desert sky. Established more than 2,000 years ago, Petra flourished as a vital crossroads for trade routes that linked Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean, its hydraulic engineering and rock-cut tombs reflecting a culture both transient and enduring. Standing amid worn stones and soft desert light, there's a quiet awe that lingers, the feeling of brushing past lives once surrounded by bustle and silence in turn. Petra is both hidden and revealed, monumental and ephemeral, a place where time's passage is etched in every chiseled column and weathered stair. Here, travelers sense not just history, but the enduring human desire to leave a mark upon the world. Bamiyan Cliff Dwellings. In a rippling canyon carved by both water and human hands, the meaning of resilience emerges from these ancient heights. Warm ochre cliffs rise above the valley of Bamiyan in central Afghanistan, their surfaces dotted with hundreds of cave entrances that once sheltered monks and villagers, silent witnesses to centuries of change. Hollowed from sandstone nearly 2,000 years ago, these interconnected chambers offered a labyrinth of refuge and devotion along the old Silk Road, while two monumental Buddhas, once over 150 feet tall or about 46 meters, stood watch nearby until their tragic destruction in 2001. Today, a hush lingers where chanting once echoed, inviting visitors to imagine lives lived in candle glow and quiet perseverance. Stark emptiness and traces of painted plaster reveal a gentle contrast, the vibrancy of ancient culture set against the scars of conflict. In these silent chambers, the memory of passage endures, endless as the desert wind, an open question of what stories still sleep inside the stone.